Have you ever sat at your desk for hours, staring at a blank screen, while the weight of the world feels like it's pressing down on your shoulders? You look at your to-do list and feel a strange sense of paralysis. You call yourself lazy. You tell yourself that you just don't have the discipline that others seem to possess so effortlessly. But what if I told you that laziness is often just a lie we tell ourselves when we don't understand our own friction? You aren't broken, you're just operating without the right manual for your mind. In a world that celebrates the grind, we've been conditioned to believe that if we aren't moving, we're failing. You scroll through social media and see people waking up at 4 a.m., hitting the gym, and finishing 3 projects before you've even had coffee. This comparison doesn't motivate you, it creates a mental fog of inadequacy. You start to believe that your inability to match that pace is a fundamental character flaw. But the truth is, most of those high achievers aren't working harder, they are just managing their friction better than you are right now. Today, we're going to deconstruct the myth of laziness and replace it with a system that actually works with your brain, not against it. We're moving away from the hustle culture and toward a clarity culture. It's time to stop punishing yourself for being human and start designing a life where productivity is the natural byproduct of your environment. If you've been feeling stuck, this is the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Let's talk about why you've been doing it all wrong. The conflict usually starts with the wall. You have a big project, a dream, or even just a cleanup task, but it feels like a mountain. Instead of climbing, you stay at the base, checking your emails for the 10th time or organizing your desktop icons. This is productive procrastination. You're doing work to avoid the real work because the real work feels threatening. Your brain is trying to protect you from the discomfort of a task that feels too big to handle, so it chooses the path of least resistance. Then comes the guilt cycle. Since you didn't do the big thing, you stay up late trying to compensate, which ruins your sleep and leaves you exhausted the next day. You're caught in a loop where the debt of yesterday's inaction carries over to today with interest. You start waiting for the spark, that magical moment of motivation that you think will save you. But motivation is a fair-weather friend. It shows up when things are easy and disappears the moment the work gets hard. You can't build a career or a life on a spark. When the spark doesn't come, you look for a distraction. You fall into the bottomless pit of short-form content or news cycles. This isn't because you're lazy, it's because your brain is seeking a hits of dopamine to counteract the cortisol of your stress. Every scroll is a tiny escape from the guilt of the work you aren't doing. But these escapes are hollow. They don't actually recharge you, they just numb you. You're stuck in a limbo between working and resting, doing neither effectively. Now, here is the climax of the problem, the shift. To break the cycle, you have to stop focusing on the destination and start focusing on the activation energy. Every task has a starting cost. If the cost is too high, you won't do it. The secret isn't more willpower, it's lowering the barrier to entry. If you want to write a book, don't try to write a chapter. Try to write 1 sentence. If you want to clean the house, just clean 1 shelf. We have to trick the brain into realizing that the monster isn't as big as it looks. Think about the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it's a long task, commit to doing just the first 2 minutes of it. Momentum is a physical law of the mind. Once you are in motion, staying in motion is significantly easier than starting from zero. The laziness you feel is actually just the friction of the start. By shrinking the start to something almost laughably easy, you bypass the brain's fear center and enter a state of action. Next, you must design your environment. If your phone is next to you, you will check it. If your desk is cluttered, your mind will be cluttered. You are a product of your surroundings. Stop relying on your internal strength to resist temptation and start removing the temptation altogether. Put the phone in another room. Clear your workspace until only the essential tools remain. When the environment is clear, the path to the work becomes visible. You are creating a sanctuary for your focus. You also need to understand your biological rhythm. We've been told to manage our time, but we should be managing our energy. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Stop trying to do your hardest creative work when your brain is in a slump. Identify your deep work window, that 2 to 3 hour block where you are naturally more alert, and protect it like it's gold. This isn't about working more hours, it's about making the hours you do work actually count for something. Watch what happens when you apply these small changes. Suddenly, the mountain doesn't look so high. You start to see progress, not because you've become a different person, but because you've stopped fighting your own nature. The man who was paralyzed by a blank screen is now typing, not because he's inspired, but because he's in motion. This is the resolution of the struggle. It's the realization that you were never lazy. You were just poorly calibrated. You were trying to drive with the parking brake on. As the hours pass, you find yourself in a state of flow. The work starts to pull you in rather than you pushing yourself into the work. You finish that project that's been hanging over your head for weeks. The relief you feel isn't just about the finished task, it's about the restoration of your self-trust. You realized you can rely on yourself again. You close your laptop not with exhaustion, but with a deep sense of accomplishment. You've reclaimed your day and your peace of mind. Now you can finally rest. And this time, it's real rest. There is no guilt lurking in the back of your mind. You can sit outside, watch the sunset, or read a book, knowing that you showed up for yourself today. This guilt-free rest is what actually recharges you for tomorrow. By doing the work correctly, you've earned the right to be still. You've discovered that life isn't about constant movement. It's about intentional action followed by intentional recovery. This is the balance you were missing. The moral of the story is simple. Be kind to your brain, and your brain will be kind to you. Stop calling yourself lazy and start asking what's in your way, whether it's the size of the task, the distractions in your room, or the timing of your work. Address the system, not the person. You have incredible potential locked inside you, waiting for the right conditions to bloom. Don't let a bad strategy convince you that you have a bad heart. You're just getting started. If this mindset shift helped you today, consider sharing this with someone who's currently beating themselves up for being lazy. We all need a reminder that we're doing our best. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found value here, and subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of success. Comment below. What's one small 2-minute task you're going to do right now? I'll see you in the next video. Keep moving one small step at a time. Please like and subscribe, Nuri's Level Up channel.